Your property runs 40 or more promotions and events every month. Your team is exhausted. Your guests feel the chaos. What if the answer isn't more staff or bigger budgets? It's more intention. When your brand stands for something, your offers stop feeling like noise and start feeling like proof. But here's what's actually happening in many casinos. The calendar is packed. Every week brings new redemptions, giveaways, drawings, tournaments, entertainment, and limited time offers. Marketing hits their numbers, or not. Operations scrambles to execute. Guests show up, but they're not building loyalty. They're chasing deals and events. Meanwhile, the moments that actually create loyalty, the arrival experience, the club sign up, the first redemption, how you handle problems, gets thinner and more inconsistent, especially on your busiest nights. Welcome to Drive Time Marketing. Hi there, and welcome back to Drive Time Marketing, the show where we help casino marketers turn strategy into action and insights into impact. I'm Julia Carcamo, and in today's episode, I'm talking about the concept of marketing with meaning. When the calendar is packed, every week brings new redemptions, giveaways, drawings, tournaments, you know the list. Guests show up, but they're often not building loyalty. They're really just chasing deals and events. And the moments that actually create loyalty get thinner and more inconsistent, especially on your busiest nights. So here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Every offer has a job, not just a due date. When your brand means something, you don't market just to fill the calendar, you market to change something, for the guest or for the business. And when you're running 40 or more promotions a month, that clarity becomes a difference between building a brand and just making noise. If you read my post on purpose-driven marketing last year, you know that brand foundation is about defining your identity, who you are, what you stand for, and what promise you're making to your guests and to your community. That's the strategy. Marketing with meaning is how you execute on that foundation. So what exactly is marketing with meaning? It's intentional marketing that reinforces who you are and makes the guest experience more consistent, more human, and more memorable. It's the difference between random acts of marketing, a promotion just because it's Wednesday, and designed brand moments, a promotion or event that supports a specific outcome. It's also the difference between random acts of VIP, a host who does something nice when they remember, and a consistent VIP experience where every high-worth guest feels a consistent standard of recognition every single time. Here's a simple example. A standard promotion might be get $10 in free play when you earn 25 points. We've seen it all the time. A meaning-driven version might be a bring a friend night designed to introduce new guests to the Players Club, create a natural host touchpoint for emerging VIPs, and build a repeat visit within 10 days. The mechanics might look similar. The job, though, is totally different. And that job, the specific outcome you're designing for, is what transforms a promotion from calendar filler into a brand building moment. Now, I think there are 3 questions every meaningful campaign has to answer. So before you greenlight anything, a promotion, event, a mailer, SMS giveaway, whatever, run through these 3 questions. First, who is this really for? It's not all carded players. It's not everyone. Meaningful marketing starts with specificity. For example, it could be weekday locals who haven't visited in 60 to 180 days. First-time signups in their first 30 days. High-frequency guests hovering just below a tier threshold. Hosted players who visit quarterly but carry a high ADT potential. Maybe even uncarded retail guests who attend entertainment but never join the club. When you get the audience right, everything else gets easier. Offer design, messaging, staff execution, and measurement. My second question is, what do we want them to think, feel, and do? Remember that, think, feel, and do. This is where promotions stop being the stuff we run and start becoming experiences we design. For example, if your target is a lapsed mid-worth guest, you want them to think, they noticed I've been gone. Feel, I'm missed, not just market it to. And do, come back within the next 10 days and re-engage. Or for a new member, the think might be, this is easy to understand. They might feel, I'm welcomed, not overwhelmed. And they do take 2 actions this month, earn points, and redeem something small. When a campaign has no think, feel, do, it's usually just a discount with a deadline. And the third question is, how does this connect back to our brand promise? This is the question many marketing calendars skip, and it's where the damage happens. A property can talk about being premium, but run chaotic, high-friction redemption mechanics. A property can talk about being welcoming, but let new guests wander without any kind of orientation. A property can talk about community, but make the on-property experience feel transactional. Your brand promise isn't your tagline, it's what your guest experiences repeatedly. If a program reinforces that promise, it builds trust. If it contradicts it, even slightly, it erodes trust faster than you think. And meaning is built in moments, not in marketing copy. I know this is going to hurt, but guests don't remember your promotion name. They remember moments. They remember how it felt when they walked in, how confusing or easy the club sign-up was, or how easy or not it was to enter a drawing. How they were treated after a jackpot win, whether it was big or small, how a small problem was handled, and whether anyone made them feel seen. Marketing with meaning works best when it improves the moments that shape the guest story. And when you're running 40 or more promotions a month, you don't have bandwidth to improve every touch point at once. You need to focus on the moments that matter most. Now, after the break, I want to tell you about the Moments Map. We are getting ready for Casino Marketing Bootcamp. We are back in New Orleans for our signature event, March 16th through the 18th. This is the 360 view of marketing. It's hands-on, it's interactive, and you will return back to your property with a plan that you can put in place. I want you to join us. There's a link in the show notes for more information. Welcome back. Let's talk about the Moments Map. 7 moments that decide loyalty. You don't have to fix everything at once, but you start by mapping the moments that matter the most. First is arrival and welcome. It's the first 90 seconds. The guest thinks, do I belong here? And your behaviors acknowledge, orient, clarity. The proof is when you're able to say, here's how we welcome first-timers and regulars. Second is Players Club decision. Join or stay uncarded. The guest question is this worth it or is it a hassle? The behaviors you want to exhibit are explaining in plain language and make that first win easy. Your proof is join today, use it today stories. Third is the friction moment. It could be a kiosk, it could be a promotion redemption, it could be lines, it could be confusion. The guests in their head, they're saying, why is this so hard? So your behaviors have to be to remove friction before it becomes frustration. You want to be able to say, we make it easy, and you want to make it believable. But it's only believable when it's experienced. Fourth is the first big emotion, that first win or the first rough loss. I mean, it happens. Guests will think, how do they treat me when it's not perfect? Your behaviors have to be respect, encouragement, calm, professionalism. Fifth moment is food and beverage, the reality check. It's service, it's about calm clarity. Again, the guests are going to think, is this worth my time and money? So you have to be transparent. You need to provide guidance. You need to have service recovery. You want your hospitality to match the brand. 6 is the jackpot hand pay moment. Is this celebrated or is it handled with care? You want to celebrate without chaos. You want to protect privacy and you want them to feel special. You want authentic winner stories with permission and staff pride. My 7th moment in the map is the service recovery moment. That's when you save or lose the customer. When something goes wrong, do you own it? You want to fix it fast. You want to follow through. You want to make it right without a fight. It's never about the issue. It's always about the response. A campaign earns its place on the calendar when it reinforces one or more of these moments that I just went through. Properties that can improve 2 or 3 of these moments can consistently see measurable lifts in visit frequency, average spend per visit, and Players Club enrollment within the first 90 days. The rest of the calendar that's not solving a need, it's just creating work without creating value. Now, here's where marketing with meaning becomes a leadership topic and not just a marketing topic. It's the employees. Because meaning doesn't scale through slogans. Meaning scales through employees who understand what the brand stands for and how to deliver it in real time. Operationally, this means that when frontline teams understand the why behind a campaign, you're going to get fewer manager calls, faster service recovery, less pre-shift confusion, better execution on your busiest nights. And when they don't, you get the same 3 questions at every huddle: inconsistent execution across shifts, and frustrated team members who feel like they're just checking boxes instead of creating experiences. Over time, that's how you lose your best hosts and supervisors, not to better pay, but to operational chaos that feels meaningless. If frontline teams can't explain why a promotion exists, it's usually a sign that the promotion isn't meaningful enough yet. So consider turning values into 3 to 5 non-negotiable behaviors. Pick a simple meaning statement, just 1 sentence, then translate it into behaviors employees can actually do. For example, let's say your meaning is we make locals feel seen. I use a framework with teams called GUEST. It's 5 behaviors that turn that meaning statement into actions any employee can deliver. Greet, unconfuse, empower, spotlight, and trust. Greet is acknowledge regulars by name and welcome first-timers warmly. Reduce confusion around points, comps, and how promotions work. Fast service recovery with clear authority to make it right is the empower statement. And then spotlight makes wins feel human and memorable, not transactional. And finally, there's trust, supporting responsible gaming in a respectful, consistent way. The last one matters in the long run. Protecting guests is part of a brand that truly means something, not just a compliance checkbox. The acronym itself is simple. The power comes from training teams on what each behavior actually looks like in real situations, on a slow Tuesday versus a packed Saturday, at a kiosk versus a table, with a regular versus a first-timer. Now, the simplest internal tool that can change execution is a 1-page brief. Before every meaningful campaign, give the team this brief: who it's for, what we want guests to think, feel, do, which moments we're improving, what to say when guests ask questions, and what to do if something goes wrong. Then reinforce it with a 60-second pre-shift huddle. Today's campaign exists to, or the moment we're owning is, the behavior we're coaching is. That's how you turn marketing into consistent experience. Now, what happens when you think about marketing with meaning is that your calendar is going to shrink a little bit. Doing less, better, and the courage to edit your calendar is one of the hardest lessons in casino marketing. The pressure to fill the board is real. Corporate wants activity, the marketing team has ideas, partners want placement. There's always another manufacturer or vendor with a co-op offer, another local business wanting a cross promotion, another reason to add just one more thing. But a full calendar doesn't automatically produce a strong brand or quarter. It creates noise that trains guests to ignore you. When you're running 40 or more promotions and events a month, you can't create the moments that matter. Your team is too busy executing to deliver consistently. Your brand message gets buried, and your best campaigns, the ones that can actually move behavior, get lost in the noise. Meaningful marketing is often the discipline to edit the calendar so that you can execute what remains with clarity and impact. Here's what I tell marketing directors and GMs who are ready for this shift. You don't need approval to cut low-performing giveaways next month. You don't need a consultant to eliminate a promotion that creates more labor than loyalty. You don't need permission to say, we're going to focus on fewer campaigns executed exceptionally well. What you do need is clarity on what you're optimizing for. Is it frequency? Is it reactivation, tier velocity, new to regular conversion? A meaning filter that everyone trusts, and the courage to disappoint the internal stakeholders who mistake activity for strategy. And you don't need a big budget increase to make marketing more meaningful. You need attention to the small signals that guests notice instantly. Things like a welcome email that doesn't just list offers, but says, here's how to make the most of your first month with us. A first visit follow-up that feels like recognition instead of automation. A host sending a personal note after a first VIP event. Love meeting you. Next time, make sure you try. And internal examples that change execution quality. A 1-pager why this matters brief for every major campaign. Simple training on what good looks like for each moment that matters. And recognition for employees who create the moments, not just for speed or upsell. Small touches become big signals, and big signals become your brand. The most successful regional casinos aren't the ones doing the most. They're the ones doing more of what matters with consistency, clarity, and operational follow-through. Marketing with meaning isn't about being sentimental. It's about being intentional. It's about designing campaigns that improve the moments guests actually remember and giving employees the clarity to deliver those moments every shift, every night, even when it's busy. It's about having the discipline to say no to promotions that clutter your message so that you can say yes to the experiences that build your brand. If you want to try this for next quarter, here's a simple path. Choose one meaning statement that defines who you are. Identify 3 moments from the map that you'll improve. Define 2 behaviors per moment that employees can actually deliver. Then audit your calendar against a meaning filter and edit until what remains actually supports that focus. That's how brands become real. That's how loyalty compounds. And that's when marketing stops feeling like a treadmill and starts feeling like a system. Thanks for joining me on this week's edition of Drive Time Marketing.